Content Communicator Manual, Project 7, which is research your topic. Her objective is to collect information about her topic from numerous sources and to carefully support her points and opinions with specific facts, examples, and illustrations gathered through research. Miss Julie Jones told me that if I wanted to say something about her, I could say that she has been in the real estate industry for over 25 years, which just looking at her, you know that's hard. That it's just impossible to believe. So help me welcome Julie Jones.
Yay, Julie! Woo!
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Anybody here ever heard of Art Linkletter?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, way before his famous show that most of us remember about children say the darndest things, he had a show that aired in 1954 called People Are Funny. It aired until the 1960s. And then later there was another show by a fellow named Alan Funt called Candid Camera. There you go. There you go. And then now, today, there was a show that started in 1989. It's still on the air, showing how funny people can be. And it is called America's Funniest Home Videos. And all three of these shows point to three very important things. One, people are funny. Two, there's a lot of variety in people. But more importantly, they show that people are fairly predictable. The longer I live, the more I understand what the psalmist said when he said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So today I want to talk to you about some predictable people patterns that exist within all of this variety. Now for instance, let's imagine that you are going to a training seminar at a local hotel. And as the seminar ends, the speaker says, on your way out, how about picking up your chair and stacking it with those in the back? And if any of you can spend a few minutes here straightening up the room, I'd really, really appreciate it. One group might respond to, well, I didn't mess it up. I've got somewhere I've got to be. See you, really. Another group might respond with, could somebody order a pizza? This could be fun. Come on, everybody pitch in. Another group might not think about the party aspect at all, but they would say, sure, I'll help. And they would get a sense of deep satisfaction because they have helped someone. And inevitably, there will be another group that will say, well, we paid a fee to come to this seminar. Was there not money that was budgeted as a part of this? And is there not someone in the hotel who actually does this cleanup, and that's part of what we've paid for here today? Can you see? Can you see how all of these reactions would be appropriate and correct? Wouldn't it be helpful to know what happens in our under-the-surface reactions? You know, the rules of civility might cause us to react in a way that's not of our nature. But wouldn't it be helpful? Well, now let's suppose that you run a company or you're trying to do a project that has a little more urgency than just stacking chairs or cleaning up a room. Wouldn't it be helpful to know how to inspire the cooperation of others by knowing a little bit about how they think? Well, my understanding of the differences in personality is from a system called DISC. It's a behavioral assessment. It's a self-assessment. And DISC stands for, D-I-S-C, stands for dominant, influencer, steadiness, and cautious or compliant. The system was invented in the 1920s by Dr. William Marston. And evidently this is a hot topic because after I had written my speech, I went to my mailbox yesterday and pulled this out, and evidently it's a hot topic with the town board. Because the big question on the front page is, how do members of the town board get along with each other? And you see the dominant driver here, the influencer, the steady, and the compliant, right here on the front page. I thought that was pretty timely. It's very important in my line of work to just at least have a feel for these different personality types so that I don't pull my hair out when I'm working with a buyer who wants to know exactly how many kilowatt hours it takes to run the light bulb in the refrigerator if the door were left open for 30 days. make an offer so that I don't just lose my cool and say, "What's the matter with you? Do you understand this is just a house?" So today, I think I'd ask you, can we crank it up a bit? Can we look at moving from the golden rule to the platinum rule? And some of you may ask, what's the platinum rule? Well, we all know what the golden rule is. The golden rule is treat others as you would like to be treated. Now, the platinum rule is treat others as they would like to be treated. This was researched by Tony Alexandra. He's a trainer, founding partner in the Platinum Rule group. And he says this is terribly important to know who you're working with and know how they like to be treated. Can you picture what kind of impact this would have if you had this information when you're dealing with your family, when you're dealing with your coworkers, or how about just in this Toastmasters club? We are right now in the process of filling roles for next year, our officer roles. So could we invest in a little study? Could we invest in a little bit of thought? As we're thinking through these roles, have we thought about which one of these roles needs that dominant driver, get it done, kind of like the biblical characters, Paul or a Deborah? Or maybe the role needs someone who's a marketing person, an influencer, somebody kind of like King David or Mary. Or maybe that role needs someone who's steady, sweet, like Jonathan. Or perhaps that role needs somebody who is a very detailed thinker, kind of like Timothy or Barnabas or Abraham. We have much to do in this planet. We have much to do in this club. We have much to do with our family. We have much to do in our work. Can we go for the platinum? Can we go for the
Great job. At this moment, I would like to have a minute on the clock so that you can take out your notes and give her some valuable encouragement, feedback of sorts, a note of polish, a note of praise.